Speaking freedom. Speaking freedom. Giving you the answers to be free. Be free. Be free. 'Cause we're speaking freedom.
Okay, so I'm in the office. I have not done a video in maybe a couple of days or whatever. And I want to do a video for you. So this video is a interesting topic. I think that I have covered it before. That's for you. If you know who you are or whatever. Well, it's something that I cover in other aspects, but it leads around. Oh my God. See, I ain't been yawning. And then here I go goddamn yawn. I think that I've covered it in some aspect around out here or there or another. And so I wanted to cover it again because the topic came up again. So today I was on social media and a viral video went out. And the viral video was about Steve Harvey. Y'all know I have one of those complex feelings about Steve Harvey. And the reason why is because not only because of what he said to Monique when she was on his show and he was like, you know, you got to just do whatever they say just to get the money. You know what I'm saying? Because basically he was telling her, you got to kind of sell your soul. You know, you got to stop believing in what you believe in so that you can get a bag. And, you know what I'm saying? Basically leave your soul vexed so that you could get a check. And, but prior to that, I had already, you know, felt some type of way, because, long time ago, probably in like 2004, 2005, may have been earlier than that, maybe 2005, or whatever. I had heard his comedy special. He ain't through with me yet. And in that comedy special, he made an ass out of himself. And he made a reference that he's going to do whatever they want him to do in order to get paid. Like, he don't ever want to be broke again. And if they wanted him, I bet you if they told Steve Harvey they would pay him to fuck him in the ass $5 million, he would probably take some dick in the ass. And I don't mean that in no disrespectful way, but his mindset about always chasing a bag is very unhealthy, because you should not be willing to sell out your soul or your purpose for the sake of $1. Now, I said all of that really honestly because I'm just letting y'all know that, I mean, like, I think that he says some cool stuff, but I really definitely don't believe in the rich people don't sleep. Rich people that's chasing money probably don't sleep 8 hours, but wealthy people who are well invested, who prioritize their health and their sanity, they definitely need rest. In order to have your brain to operate at its fullest capacity, you need rest. Your brain needs rest so that your body can function properly. Your body needs rest so that your brain can function properly. They both work hand in hand. But that's not even why we're here. The video of today, today is the 27th of April. The video that went viral is Steve Harvey explaining that he doesn't have women friends. I could play the video, but I'm not. The basis of the video is like, most men that have women friends secretly want to have sex with them. And if given the opportunity to have sex, then most men that have women friends would negate the friendship to have sex. And then he went on to say that he personally don't, or I don't know if he said he can't have women friends for his own personal reasons, or he just don't. But either way, the basis of the narrative is that if he has women friends, he might slip up and fuck. Now, it's strange and interesting because it's coming from a married man who is basically admitting that he has no self-control when it comes to single women, and that if he gets close to a single woman, and if she, look, this is the thing. Okay, let's start here. First off, there are a lot of men that have never learned how to master the art of having women friends. And that means that all of their life, they have learned that women are for procreation, recreation, and facilitation. You know what I'm saying? Like to facilitate the relationship, to facilitate the home, to facilitate the children. So a lot of times men don't look at women as valuable assets, as friends. But wait, there's more, because there are some women that are just as vicious as men. And when I say vicious, that means that there are some women that are, this is what I was going to say a minute ago. There are some single women that will get around Steve Harvey or people like him and will kind of throw themselves at him, laugh a little bit too much, put their boob on his arm or on his back, just be extra. Sometimes it's for attention. Sometimes it's because women can sense when men have no self-control, just like men can sense when women are easy to sleep with or promiscuous, or are more likely to give up the coochie if you press. So the subject is not really false in what he's saying. But I believe that it's sad that, it's not all the way false, but it's not all the way true. In another video, way above this, probably about 4, 5, 6 videos above this, once I get to loading episode 4, I say that you can be right and wrong at the same time. So he's right. There are a large majority of men that only see women as sexual objects, and things in that nature, in that realm. But there are some men that only see women, or that see their women friends, as strictly platonic friends. Now, Steve's logic is that if a man sees a woman as strictly a platonic friend, basically something is wrong with him. Or no, he basically said that he may accept that role with the thought in the back of his mind that one day he might be able to hit, if, you know what I'm saying, if she ever get caught slipping in an emotional undertaking or anything like that, and he might be able to fuck. This is the thing. If a man will fuck you because you're emotionally vulnerable, then that man is not really a friend to you. However, I think the real problem is that we really have to do better about raising our children, the next generation, men and women, to see each other as valuable assets outside of relationship. I've spoken on this, and I speak on often that as men and women, we have to realize that just because we have chemistry with a person does not always mean that it needs to be a sexual interaction or sexual exchange, because sometimes God places people in our lives that we are not meant to have sex with, but we are meant to build with. And there's a necessary amount of chemistry that is needed in order to build the way that God will have you to build in that type of alignment. And a lot of relationships, friendships are ruined by sex, or by, a lot of female-male interactions are ruined by sex. And some of it is because sex is so taboo that the moment that we get sexually aroused, most people don't know what to do. And I think that Steve really just displayed that, or spoke to the fact that most men can't control their sexual urges. This is why, for me, it is very important to have and be with somebody that has a great deal of self-control, a great deal of temperance, a great deal of self-value, because if you value yourself, you will not want to give your body to just anybody. And that's not just for women. That is also for men. A lot of men don't realize how valuable they are. A lot of men don't realize how strong they are on the inside. And a lot of that is because they've been torn down, belittled, and made to feel insignificant or less than by either the women that they've chosen to be with and or their parental and guardian unit. So if you are raised in a household where your mama told you ain't shit all the time, or talk shit about you and never encouraged you, never lifted you up, then you're likely to have more of a self-esteem problem. When you have a self-esteem problem or a self-esteem issue where it's not built up within self, then the moment, the millisecond that somebody gives you any type of attention, then you will fawn over it. And it's kind of like what you see with women, where especially online, all you got to do is show a little titties and ass, and then people are going to be all over you. And then women get caught up in that attention, and then they get lost in it. But that also happens to men, and men get into bad, toxic relationships sometimes because they're caught up in a woman stroking their ego at that moment. And they don't realize that the woman is using them or that taking advantage of them. Just like sometimes when a man strokes a woman's ego and, makes her feel special sometimes men do the same thing so that they can manipulate, use, and abuse as well. So I think the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that we have to teach is self-value and how to build relationships that are non-sexual. But a lot of times, in order to build a non-sexual mindset, we have to talk more about sex. As long as sex is taboo, then the moment that you're aroused, then you feel like you have to get that off. It's almost like, I used to have a phrase, I never waste a wet one. There's like a nigga that don't ever want to get blue balls. That's how I used to feel like, man, if I allow you close enough to get my pussy wet, then I'm fucking something. Now, I have grown up a lot. But also, when I was in that phase of life, and it does still correlate to who I am now, because I don't allow people to get close to me in that way if I don't want to have sex with them. So if I know that my pussy gonna get wet if you kiss on my neck, if you know what I'm saying, do this or that, I'm not gonna tell you what get my coochie wet, okay? But if I know that if you kiss on my neck, if you do this or you do that, it's gonna get my pussy wet, and I know that I don't want to fuck you, then why would I get that close to you to allow you to do the things that I know gonna make my pussy wet and gonna make me want to fuck? So personally, I've always kind of kept that space. I have always had male friends that I wouldn't want to have sex with. And I believe that I've had male friends that never ever intended to have sex with me, that we was just cool. We would talk about their relationships. We would talk about their issues or their, you know what I'm saying, businesses, and the relationship, the friendship would be on building. But there are a lot of guys that do have sex in the back of their minds. But if you quit allowing sex to be taboo, then when sexual conversations come up, when the sexual arousal happens, then it will not be as overwhelming, like, ooh, let's get some, because it would be something that's not taboo. As long as you can't talk about sex, and then you see something that's sexually related and you get aroused, you're going to always want to feed that arousal. Versus if you kind of, as I have this logic, overexposure will desensitize you. That means that if you overexpose to sex, then when you see some sex shit, then you go be like, whatever. Like it'll almost be like, mentally erectile dysfunction type, you know what I'm saying, where you just don't even, your libido is not even like, nigga, what's that? Okay, and type thing, you know what I'm saying? But on the other end, underexposure creates hyperarousal and obsession to some extent. So if you never exposed to sexual things, then as soon as you see something, automatically you're aroused. As soon as you see something, you ready to get it in. Versus if you kind of make it a part of your regular one too. Like, okay, when I first started this XXX page, if I was on there all day, every day, then I'm soaked all day, every day. But the more that I'm on that page, the less arousing it is, and the more it is just content creation and content retweets and stuff, basically, so that I can help people to get more familiar with their own sexual nature, as well as with what goes on in the world for real. Because a lot of people are clueless, like I was. I'm still clueless. There's some things I'm still learning about sex and sexual preference and just all types of shit. Like the other day, I seen somebody getting fucked in the underarm pit. Like, I ain't never seen nobody put their dick in a underarm pit. Like your armpit, you got your dick in it. It was weird. It was the first time I ever seen some shit like that. And Twitter is the only place where you can find some shit that's crazy. That's not an actual porn site. So back to the subject. So when he said that, it really just showed to me that, one, we have to teach people how to build friendships that are not contingent upon sexual interaction. Just because I'm attracted to you doesn't mean that there has to be a sexual relationship. This is the reason why our community is not as strong as it could be, because everything does not have to be, if you cool, now we gotta fuck. If I like you, now we gotta fuck. If we got chemistry, now we gotta fuck. Chemistry is for a tribe. Your sisters, your brothers, your cousins. And I'm not talking about blood relation. I'm talking about those people that come around you, stick with you through thick and thin. Those people that help you out, get through hard times. One of the best values that you can have as a man is a woman that you've never fucked. Because a woman, the woman that you fuck, they kind of, most times, they are, even if you're not together, a little bit like jealous type. Sometimes they can be territorial even. Sometimes they can be moody, but a woman that you've never had sex with can give you an objective, I want to say an objective, subjective opinion about people that you're hanging out with. Like, I try to tell my one homeboy, I love my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? We never messed around. I've been knowing him for like 20 years or more. And I know he got a big thing because we've been friends. And in our early days of friendships, I kind of, bumped into him, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't nothing. We never had sex or anything. I don't think we ever even kissed or nothing like that. But, he's packing. But I be trying to tell him, like, bruh, you are valuable. You are, not only because I know that you're packing from, just knowing, but also because you're smart, you're intelligent, you're a quick thinker, you are somebody that keeps people in high spirits, you are a very thoughtful person, you are a very, talented person, you're eager, you have ambition, there is nothing that you cannot do. Like, you are a whole package plus some. As your friend, I want to help you get the right woman. Like, a lot of times men have women friends and then they be like, maybe it's because they want to fuck their women friends. And I'm not saying he want to fuck, because we cool. But if you have a woman friend, you should be using those women in your life. Like, this is the reason having a woman friend is like having a female cousin. You don't want to fuck your female cousins. You don't want to fuck your sister. You don't want to fuck your aunties. Even when you get out and away from your family, you still need women that are like your aunties. You still need women that are like your cousins. You still need women that are like your sisters. You still have women that are like your nieces. You still have women that should be able to hold those type of spaces that are non-sexually related. And it's really sad that most men don't have the capacity in their mind to place women in the categories of, okay, is she like a sister to me? I can't fuck my sister. She like a cousin to me. I can't fuck my cousin. If she holds the space as an auntie or a mother figure, or, a co-worker, even a supervisor, I'm not fucking my co-worker. I'm not fucking my auntie. I'm not fucking my supervisor. I'm not fucking my grandmother. So if you can't compartmentalize people into those type of non-fuckable categories, then there is something going on in your mind. There is a programming and conditioning that you've experienced that says, you know what? Any woman that come my way, I gotta have at her. Any woman that's not blood related to me, I gotta get some. You know what I'm saying? If she, come on to me, I gotta have it. And it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy to not be able to have female friends that you don't want to have sex with, or that you don't pursue having sex with. You should be able to have female friends, female acquaintances even, that hold those same type of spaces as your mom, your auntie, your sister, your cousin, your niece, your great auntie, your great niece, because your mother's children are not your only cousins. You have you have cousins that are generations, your second cousin, your third cousin. You have generations of family members that you don't, I hope, Steve, now I hope you ain't be having no cousins and shit and be like secretly wanting to fuck on your cousins because they women and they single or they fine. But you should be able to hold space for those type of relationships that mirrors your family connection. This is how you build a tribe. This is how you build community. This is how you maintain your integrity and dignity and even master self-control. Just like women, I know some women that are slores. They will fuck any nigga that give them some dick. You know what I'm saying? All the nigga gotta do is goddamn act like he wanna fuck, and they gonna drop their panties and they pussy wet. But even with those type of women, some men have to be put on reserve. You can't fuck every nigga that you're cool with. You can't fuck every nigga that give you a goddamn little bit of attention. That feeds into the narrative that men can't have friends, women friends that they don't fuck. And this also feeds into the narrative of why women are insecure about other women being friends with their man. You gotta have some men that are like brothers, like your blood brothers that you never fuck. Unless you think about fucking your brother, then there should be niggas that you don't fuck that's like a brother. There should be men that you don't fuck that's like a cousin. There should be men that you do not fuck that's like an uncle, that's like a grandfather. You know what I'm saying? Like in those spaces, you have to have people that you are not having sex with because they hold those type of spaces that allow you to build a tribe with men. You got to have men that's dependable, that's reliable, that'll stand for you, that'll stand up with you, that will support you, that will warn you about other niggas. It's like I just said in another video, like if the dude that I fantasize, the dude that I crush on, if any guy that I've ever tried to date, we break up and or we quit talking like that, or we quit seeing each other in that light. If at any time that happens, then guess what? I would pray and hope that he would look out for my best interest and start warning me about the type of niggas that I should not be with, because you know me a little bit better and you should want the best for me. And if you want the best for me, then you won't let me be with somebody that is unhealthy for me. Now, the thing is if you cross the boundary of fucking, then the same way I said that women be jealous sometimes or territorial if they done fucked the nigga before, or, you know what I'm saying, act a little funny style if they done fucked the nigga before. There are men that if a man done fucked you, there are some women that if a man done fucked you, he ain't gonna hook you up with nobody. He not gonna look out for you. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be funny style a little bit because he done had it. He still want it and he don't want nobody else to get it. But you gotta establish those type of friendships and relationships that are reflective to those men in your family. You got to have, it's healthy to have it. You need it in your life. Some of the closest men that I've had in my life were reflective of brothers, of cousins, of uncles. And again, you don't just have your mother's siblings as cousins. You got first cousins, you got second cousins, you got third cousins. Shit, if your family big enough, you might have fourth and fifth and sixth cousins. But what the main purpose in what I'm saying is, at some point, we got to teach our community how to build community without sex being involved. Sex should not be the barrier or the breaking point for being able to build community. If you have chemistry with somebody, God may have you aligned in chemistry with them for the purpose of building something strong, for the purpose of, you know what I'm saying, creating something great. But if you fuck that person that God wanted you to build a business with, that God wanted you to, you know what I'm saying, do some other type shit with, then you ruined what God was establishing that for a sexual moment of gratification that will fleet. And then now you can't even do what God wanted you to do. Now you are stuck and debilitated in a certain area and aspect because now you're spreading yourself thin. Like sometimes the more you fuck, the less you value yourself. The more you fuck, you know what I'm saying? The more niggas you fuck, the more bitches you fuck. Even if you don't feel like you value yourself less, you are minimizing your worth to the sexual aspect. And nobody should be minimized to just sex. And I think that's where I'm going to end at. But I just wish that we learn how to build tribes and communities based on more than sex. Actual friendship and loyalty. Speaking Freedom presents Good Head Group, providing advanced spiritual studies and personal developmental insight. Brought to you by Love Gang and Speaking Freedom. We look forward to helping you grow in all the areas of your life. We hope that you find all the information needed for your growth. God bless. Please listen to all disclaimers provided. If you are currently under physician's care, please maintain that relationship. This is not intended to stop your current treatment plan. If you need physician care, please seek out medical attention. Please note, all results are based on the individual's ability to adapt and adjust to any given environment and situation.
We are not responsible for your results at Speaking Freedom. The life enhancement coaches at Speaking Freedom provide information to help you grow. You are responsible for maintaining that growth, taking on and then applying the information to your individual life as you deem needed and necessary. This may contain and explain explicit content. Please use parental discretion. For best results, you will need an open mind, the ability to research, and a balanced lifestyle.